This is Jordan Buckley. He's a staff member with Interfaith Action, and he's giving me a tour of the Coalition of Immokolee Workers and some of the things around here. So we're looking at this parking lot. And what is this parking lot, Jordan?
Yeah, this parking lot is the major pickup spot here in Immokolee for the tomato industry. And during the months of roughly November to May, in any given morning between the hours of say 4:30 to 7, there may be a few thousand workers that will come to this parking lot. It'll be filled in the pre-dawn hours with dozens of school buses, which will pick up workers and take them to places as far away as Miami up to Sarasota, where they will labor in the tomato fields and then be dropped back off in the evening time. So this is, in some ways, kind of the epicenter of the fresh tomato industry in the United States, being one of the largest pickup spots for the tomato industry. Yeah, you can kind of look at this bed, see kind of the setup in terms of the bed frame, what you have there.
Oh, yeah.
Some plastic boxes.
Yeah.
I'm told the cost to live in these places, so these are trailers that are intended for like 4 people to live in, but usually it's about 10 to 12 people that occupy them. And the rent is usually $40 to $50 a week per person. So that's, if you think about $200 a month. And I've paid $200 a month for properties before, but it certainly doesn't look like this, and it's certainly not putting a mattress on the floor of a kitchen to share a space with 10 potential strangers. In the morning, farm workers have told us that kind of the routine is that you get up and you have to form a line to either use the stove to be able to cook your lunch for the day, or to form a line to be able to use the restroom or to shower. And so it's and the reason that people do this is because they make such little money in the fields. They need to live close enough to the parking lot to be able to get on the buses and go to work for the day. And so all around here you'll see all sorts of trailers in very similar conditions to this one. But if workers were actually, you can see here the amount of mattresses that are in this tiny little house, and just the conditions of the bathroom and the kitchen, and how many people must live here given the amount of mattresses that are in here. And it just goes to underscore that people would rather not live like this, but they're obligated to when they're paid such little amounts of money. They need to live close enough to the parking lot to be able to walk there every day, since they don't make enough to afford a car and live somewhere further off. And so instead, people must live kind of squeezed in tiny spaces like this that are really just falling apart, and you see the roaches and other things that many of us would prefer not to have to live with. So.
Okay, so Jordan and I are walking around here in Immokolee. Can you tell me, Jordan, a little bit about how the Presbyterians have been involved in working for justice for farmers?
Absolutely. The Presbyterian Church USA has been involved really since the get-go. Some of the earliest supporters of the coalition, even in the 1990s, were members of Vanderbilt Presbyterian Church just down Immokolee Road there in Naples. But have also been steadily involved through the One Great Hour of Sharing, also the Presbyterian Hunger Program, the self-development of the people. All of them have lent their support to the campaigns, and also made financial gifts to help enable the community center being opened up here, from which the Coalition of Immokolee Workers operates. But also, when throughout the 1990s, the coalition, when they were trying to convince the growers to sit down at the table with them to address the poverty and the abuse and the harassment, and the growers steadily refused to even meet with them, it was at that point that they realized they needed to go to the buyers, because the retailers are the ones that actually have influence over the growers. And so it was with the support of the Tampa Bay Presbytery who introduced an overture to the General Assembly that the only boycott that the Coalition of Immokolee Workers has ever had was with Taco Bell, and it was Peace USA that endorsed on a denominational level throughout the United States this boycott of Taco Bell, and they were joined by the Disciples of Christ, the United Methodist Church, and many other faith groups. United Church, United Church of Christ?
Yeah,
sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So in the 90s, a number of farm workers were wanting to try to address the abuses and the poverty and the withheld wages and sexual harassment and other types of abuse, and so they were seeking to meet with the growers, the people that own the farms. But after many attempts to be able to sit down and have those conversations and being rebuffed time and time again, what they finally resolved to do is 6 farm workers decided to abstain from food for 30 days. And they went on a hunger strike over the course of a month, and it started in December of 1997. And so actually went over the Christmas holidays and into January of 1998 when finally Jimmy Carter intervened and told these farm workers that if they would start to eat again, that he would pledge the support of his Human Rights Office to try to advance their struggle. And so someone asked one of the growers at the conclusion of this 30-day hunger strike, why won't you sit down with the farm workers? And the response was, because a tractor doesn't tell a farmer how to run his farm. And so basically equating farm workers with mere implements, just simple tools. And so what the farm worker community did was they created this painting where it says, we are not tractors, we are human beings, we deserve respect and dignity. And as an affirmation of their shared humanity, they signed this painting of a tractor to clarify that they're not tractors.